final score, Wrexham 2, Wigan Athletic 1. Brilliant way to end the year. What a result that is, because for my money, Wigan put in the best performance anyone's put in at the Stoke Kairos this season, apart from us. And we're unlucky not to get something out of the game. Trouble with coming to play at the racecourse, of course, apart from anything else, is you're coming up against a team that genuinely expects to find a way to win the game one way or another. And the other problem is you're also coming up against Stephen Fletcher, who has now scored off the bench in our last 3 home games, is the first Wrexham player to score 3 goals as a substitute in 1 month, and is second behind Steve Buxton, who was a terrific player off the bench in the 1980s, in terms of the most goals scored by a substitute at the racecourse. Yeah, the odds are stacked against you when we've got a team that can turn to a guy with that sort of record. But Wigan were very, very good. Like I said, I was really impressed with them. They've got a very good away record, and it showed in the way they set themselves up in a kind of 4-1-4-1 / 4-2-3-1, if you will. Their defence looked solid. Their full-backs, Sibic and Sessegnon, the twin brother, of course, of Ryan, were getting up the pitch really well. Scott Smith, coming into the team, ex-Welsh and the 19 international, he anchored the midfield really well. I thought sometimes joined by Deco, and on the flanks, well, Johnny Smith, the ex-Wrexham winger, looked threatening, but actually didn't manage to get that much end product, and McLean, I thought, did pretty well the way he handled him. On the other flank, Michael Olakigbe was so dangerous. He was so quick. He was actually looking to take on Barnett for pace. Now, that's saying something. And Barnett and Cleworth had a very, very busy time keeping him in check. Their 2 midfielders coming forwards caused problems, Taylor Arsgaard particularly, and Taylor up front was a good mobile striker who would drop off and create space. And so they were clever, and they set themselves up nicely, and we really struggled. Having those 3 players in midfield meant we didn't have an extra man, and it told we struggled to get a grip in midfield, struggled to get our attacking momentum going, and maybe could be a little braver on the ball sometimes under that pressure, but we were going long to Palmer. I thought got decent change out of 2 strong centre-backs, but yeah, we didn't get going all that well in the first half. But the Wigan press guys were saying that their issue is they don't take their chances, they don't score enough goals, and bingo, this is a great example of it, because as you'll see in a moment when I start going through the incidents, Wigan didn't create as many chances as their impressive approach play suggested they should. But they were fluent and attacked us swiftly, moved the ball quickly between the lines. I really enjoyed watching them play. The codicil, I hated every second of it because they were doing it to us, but I liked their approach. They nearly scored in the 5th minute, and I think this would have massively changed everything. Osgaard feeding the ball down the line. Olakigbe working it inside, having broken around the left flank to Adiko, who'd made a good run deep into Wrexham's penalty area. He pulled it into the goal line, and Brunt did brilliantly. It looked like Taylor had a tap-in from about a yard out. Brunt did brilliantly to stretch and dig out a clearance, or we'd have been behind. And the next real moment of danger comes 22 minutes later. And this is my point. It's the only other thing I bothered to write down in the first half, in fact. We had no real attacking threat. We won a couple of soft free kicks on the edge of the box, which we weren't able to take advantage of. 3, in fact. Mullins' first one was on target, but from a wide-ish angle, Tickle was able to take it pretty comfortably, and then he and McLean both drove free kicks from the same sort of range, but narrower, into the wall. But that other opportunity came when Owen O'Connell, trying to be brave, to be fair, and pass his way out from a right-back position, lost the ball to Taylor as he just hesitated for a moment. He found Olakigbe again, and he pulled it back to Adiko. Now, Adiko, midfielder, is about to have a big influence on the next couple of minutes, bless him. Last match, on Boxing Day, he scored the first goal of his career to win at Rotherham, the game at Rotherham. This is a great chance. Olakigbe pulls it back. He's got time on the edge of the box, but he takes a poor first touch, and McLean does really well to come from nowhere and get a challenge in, and the ball drops for James to clear. Poor old Adiko. I don't know if he got hurt by that essential and robust challenge by McLean or not. But moments later, he may also have hurt himself when he conceded the yellow card to stop a breakaway. And soon after that goes down and he has to go off. Poor guy, had a rotten 2 minutes. I can't help feeling that might have been a very important point in the match, because they brought on Jensen Weir, the son of David Weir, the Scottish ex-international player. And to me, Weir looked different type of player. He didn't look the best fit into that style of play. I'm not saying he isn't any good, I hasten to add, but he looked more like a sort of defensive midfielder / centre-back playing in that sort of role. He wasn't able to burst forwards with the pace and decisiveness of a Deco. Squandered a couple of moments as well with a poor touch. And I just felt Wigan maybe just lost something. From that point onwards, we're a bit back in the game. And although Wigan continue to have a threat, they're no longer really dominating us as I felt they did for long periods. It could also just be that they played a terrific intensity. I mean, they're a young team, and my word, they were pressing like heck in that first half hour. They continue to be energetic, but nobody can be intense for that long. And they did knock it off a little bit. And after the break, and in the latter stages of the first half, we were able to get the ball down and move it around a bit more. Having said that, we were incredibly lucky not to be behind after 16 seconds of the second half. Long ball forwards, Cleworth heads it away, comes back in at him, and he slips, which allows Oscar to come in with a really good first touch to get beyond him down the flank. He pulls a great cross into the near post area, and Matty James, desperately trying to get back to help his defence, makes contact with it 6 yards out and slams the ball against the crossbar. It drops down, and the right back Sibic is arriving unmarked. Great opportunity, but it comes at pace, and he mishits it. It sort of bounces off him as much as he hits it, frankly, and screws wide. A real opportunity for Wigan, but we ride our luck on that occasion. There then could have been another opportunity soon after that, after Barnett sprinting back to try and stop another swift breakaway, takes Olakigbe out. Should have been yellow. He later will get a very harsh yellow for kicking the ball away, something which the referee was not consistent penalising at all. The ball falls onto Oscar, the referee plays advantage, and Oscar from 25 yards drills a shot aiming for the top right corner, can't quite keep it down. Wrexham finally, about 10 minutes into the second half, actually start to show a bit of threat, thank goodness. We are starting to get the ball down more. James is starting to regulate play more successfully for us. And this is a move which starts with James McLean in his own half with a really good aggressive forward-looking first touch, driving narrow, finding Dobson. He helps it on cleverly to Mullen. Great ball round the corner by Mullen to Barnett. Barnett rips down the right-hand side and tears in a near-post cross. Palmer swings his foot at it. A good run attacking the near post. Can't make contact. McLean, after that initiating move in the attack, has gone on and attacked the far post, and he can't reach it. It's behind him. Unlucky. But Barnett now starting to get into the game as an attacking force, and this is really, really relevant because 5 minutes later he's put in another couple of good crosses, one of which has led to the opening goal. We have one more scare though. This is self-made, as the ball is played back by Matty James to Mark Howard, and he misjudges his clearance, slices it horribly, and is terribly lucky, A, that it doesn't just go straight into the net because the backspin sends it wide. It goes just wide for a corner. And B, that he doesn't mishit it straight to Taylor, who's coming to challenge him. Scary moment, but we survive it. We also survive a big chance from the corner. Like I said, they could have scored more than one. Corner's whipped in to the far post. Sibic is arriving, having got goal side of McLean. He has a little tug of his shirt, not enough though to explain what happens, because Sibic I think just overruns the ball a little bit and faced for the second time in 13 minutes with a 6-yard box chance, heads it in the other direction when it looked like he was just going to come in and knock it into half empty net. Wrexham responds. 2 minutes later, we'll be ahead. And in between that chance and the goal, Wrexham carve out another opportunity. This time it's Lewis Brunt, who did a good job looking to drive forwards from his left-sided centre-back position into midfield to make an extra man. He does really well on this occasion, carries it a long way, feeds Palmer, and then continues his run. Palmer holding it up well, back to goal, feeds it back to Brunt. Possible shooting position for him, but Brunt is calm and sensible because he sees Barnett coming around on the overload on the right, feeds him in. Barnett with another tempter of a cross torn into the goal mouth, and Mullin lunging at the far post in front of an unguarded goal is a fraction short of diverting it, and he just can't quite reach it. Wrexham frustrated, but very soon afterwards we have the goal. Barnett and Dobson combining really nicely down the right-hand side. Dobson giving it to Barnett and then making a run down the right flank that takes defenders with him and opens up the situation for Barnett to cut in on his left foot and have a go at Sessegnon, who's totally isolated now in the corner of the box. Sessegnon's a good player, but I think with the ball probably is more his thing than without. Barnett gets past him a bit too easily on the inside, and then on his left foot hits a powerful shot. It's on target, it's Barnett's goal, but it takes a deflection off Aimson, which sends it cruelly spinning at pace into the bottom left corner. Looking at it again, just for a moment, I thought maybe Mullin had scored it, actually, because he attacks the deflection, and again, he's a fraction short of tapping it into the empty net, but it goes in anyway. Barnett has the opening goal after 5 minutes in which he really showed what he can do with his quality, both crossing and shooting. And Wigan, to be fair, respond well. Brunt tries to drive forwards a couple of minutes after the goal, but when the move comes to nothing, Wrexham have to reorganise. McLean does well, dropping in alongside James to try and cover for Brunt as they break forwards, and Olakigbe sweeps across in from the left-hand side. McLean heads it away from the position Brunt's desperately trying to get back to, and Sibic, his third chance of the half, this one not an easy chance, takes it on the chest 20 yards out and then tries a dipping volley which is just wide of the left post, also by far his best effort. And Wigan keep threatening. Halfway through the half, they work a 4-on-3 breakaway with as ever Arsgaard in the heart of everything. He does well to carry it forwards, plays the right ball to Johnny Smith, who's in the right channel and has a chance to shoot. With hindsight, I bet he wish he did, because he pulls it back and his three teammates, who are all attacking the 6-yard box, are cut out by the cross. He puts it in behind them. Wrexham respond immediately with a double change. We're still getting outnumbered a bit in midfield, so when we do that thing where we swap the two strikers over, Elliot Lee is one who comes on, which means that he can just drop off in midfield a bit more naturally to help us with our build-up play. And Stephen Fletcher, of course, comes on. Palmer and Mullin come off. And we all know what Fletcher's about to do. There's a certain inevitability about it in December, isn't there, that he'll come off the bench and score. And we go close to making it 2-0 when Brunt again makes a good surge, feeds the ball out to Barnett, and he swings a good cross in once more. Brunt gets on the end of it, just arrives maybe a little bit too soon though, and gets a looping header, which goes just wide of the right post. But to be fair, I think Tickle would have had it under control anyway. And a minute later, it's 1-1, and Wrexham, well, caught out really. A disappointing goal to concede from the centre-back's point of view. But apart from that, I thought the centre-backs did really well. But this is Silko Thomas, who's been brought on, a little surprisingly for me. Olakigbe was removed, but Thomas cuts inside. Cleworth has come across to help Barnett, but neither of them can stop him cutting onto his right foot and curling across into the 6-yard box. A run across to the near post just draws O'Connell out a little bit, and Brunt doesn't get tight enough to O'Connell and Hugill, who runs through the middle between the two centre-backs and has a simple header in from about 4 yards out. Wrexham asked for offside. I did wonder at the time, but having had a look at the replay, it's not offside at all. So Wigan deservedly level. Soon afterwards, they have a penalty shout. Arsgaard with another good ball to another of the subs, Conor McManaman. He breaks into the box in the right channel. Brunt comes across and knocks him off his feet. But he asks for the penalty, but it's, for me, body to body. I think it's good, robust defending by Brunt, just running him off the ball. And then Wrexham gets straight up the other end, knock the ball long. Fletcher flicks it on nicely, and Dobson manages to turn Weir, who's trying to track his run. Weir pulls him to the ground. Ref gives the free kick. The crowd are baying for a red card. The referee brings out a yellow. I think he's right, but it's tight. There is a covering defender. That's what saves Weir from the red. But yeah, I think he's right. I think that the situation, all referees pretty much are going to give a yellow for that. The defender's fairly close. I don't think he'd have stopped Dobson getting a shot off. He might have forced him to he might have got across and forced him, though, to hit it early from the outside the box. So I think the refs, on balance, and looking at how these things are normally refereed and judged, right to give the yellow. But it's close. Fletcher steps up left-footed, clips it over the wall. It goes just wide of the right post. The bend he's put on it is probably just taking it away from being a goal. We make further changes. Ryan Barnett was just struggling a little bit. He made a sliding challenge and afterwards just didn't quite look right. So he gets a break and Seb Revan comes on the right-hand side. Probably not a bad idea to have his pace late on as well, because Thomas is looking threatening, as Ola Kigbe did earlier. And then also, Ollie Rathbone is given a break. Mo Farrell comes on. Elliot Lee drops into a more orthodox midfield position. And Farrell is lively, and Fletcher is causing problems. And in the first minute of added time, Wrexham get the winner. Fletcher winning a header again, helping it onto the flank to McLean, who takes a touch, allows Fletcher to get in to the far post and drills a great ball in, which Fletcher is able to take on his chest about 15 yards out. It's dropping on his left foot. I think the keeper, Tickle, who's got a lot of defenders between him and the ball, is anticipating a left-footed shot shaped inside his left post. But Fletcher, the canny striker that he is, pulls it to the right post and drills it perfectly inside that right post, bottom corner. Tickle just can't get across to it, and Fletcher goes nuts, charging down the side of the pitch in front of the Macron stand, absolutely loving every moment of it. Have a look at the highlights. Have a look at Mo Farrell's reaction. Is brilliant. He runs into the crowd and he's just got his head in his hands. He's astounded. Fletcher's done it again. Incredible. Wigan have 6 minutes of added time, and we go further to the game than that. We have another minute or two added on, and right at the end they win a corner. Tickle, who's a big keeper, comes charging up. Everyone's in the Wrexham box. The ball comes in. Wrexham deal with it, and the referee, who looked a little bit like he was convinced by the Wigan players to give him the chance to take the corner and have that opportunity, blows for full time, which of course we're delighted with, although I've got a slight thing to whinge about here, and I know it's a slight thing. Alright, there's nothing in the rules saying you should give a team a chance to score. The ref can just say, no, you haven't got time for that, time's up, we've gone off the pitch. We don't know if he intended to do that or not, but the convention seems to be, if a team's got a chance to score, you let them have that opportunity and then you blow. Well, why doesn't that apply to us then? Because the ball's cleared from the corner. Every Wigan player is ahead of the ball, and it's clear to Farrell, who is 25 yards out from his own goal. So admittedly, he's got a long way to go, but there's no one at all between him and the Wigan goal. He just thrashes it away because he hears the whistle as it drops for him. Come on, ref, let Mo have a goal. Because unless he makes a very bad decision, he's going to score from that position, surely. So, yeah, my little tiny gripe at the end. I know it's absolutely nonsensical for me to start moaning like that, but hey, I'm absolutely nonsensical, and I like a good moan. Anyway, looking at the performances, well, Howard was not worked enough, was he? Didn't have any difficult saves, in all honesty. His scariest moments with that slice that he had himself. The centre-backs, I thought, all did well. I mean, Cleworth had a difficult person to handle. I think on general he did very well, actually. He certainly wasn't able to come forward as much as I think he'd have liked to, because Wrexham were aware of the threat of Ola Kigbe and then Thomas on that left flank. Brunt, I think I'm going man of the match. I mean, I think he'll feel maybe he could have covered the goal a bit better, honestly, which makes me wonder whether I should say man of the match or not, but he did very well. Defensively, he was very strong, and he did well coming forwards, getting into midfield and helping us out as well, so did really well. O'Connell, again, notwithstanding that little error which led to a first half chance, was strong in the box once more as well. He had to really track Taylor around, stepping into midfield sometimes to try and deal with his movement, but he did that successfully. Barnett has, like I said, a lot more defending than we'd normally want to see him have to do, and Ola Kigbe, again, like I said, caused problems, but Barnett had his moments as well coming forwards. He defended okay against dangerous players. And he broke forwards and got that assist, got a few more telling crosses that could easily have been assists as well. So he gave us some good quality up front. McLean, I thought, did well. He dealt well with Johnny Smith, who was subbed after about an hour or so, and also, again, drove forwards well. And he provided his own high-quality assist as well. Matty James was comfortable in possession. They were putting a player on him in order to try and stop him from making the play, but he was good on the ball. Rathbone, full of energy as ever, maybe wasn't quite able to affect the game, and we had the ball as much as he likes to, but still had a solid enough game. But I say Wigan's midfield was solid. I think Dobson, the pick of those three, he was trying to get up the pitch and get at Wigan. In the first half, he tried a few attempts at killer balls, which didn't work out, but it was a good idea and a good attitude, and he was trying to get us on the front foot and trying to make things happen. His movement allows the first goal to happen too, and he showed good energy and competed well for the ball. Up front, Palmer, I thought, again, had a good game. Did well against two big centre-backs, held the ball up well, won his fair share of headers. Mullin, again, it was a little unlucky. Again, lots of energy, lots of movement, very close to reaching two balls in the 6-yard box, one of which was a goal anyway, to be fair. But again, looked lively. And then off the bench, and by the way, apart from it being great news that Elliot Lee came on, great to see Arthur Okonkwo on the bench as well. He wasn't needed, thankfully. Although the way it's been going with goalkeepers for us, you could never assume that. But yeah, Lee was very lively when he came on, did a good job in support of Fletcher, who was fabulous, of course, did such a great job. Farr was energetic when he came late on. Revan didn't have all that much to do, in all honesty. But that's a great way to end the year. We had to fight for it. We had to fight for a few of those home wins lately, haven't we? And we left it late, like we have for a few home games lately. But they're wins, they're points in the bank. And with the other scores really going well for us, what is it? The rest of the top 5, none of them won. We'll take that, won't we? With the final score of Wrexham 2, Wigan Athletic 1, I'm Mark Griffiths from Wrexham AFC.